Good morning, y'all. We are going to go ahead and we're going to make some collard greens this morning. So I got my sink full of them. We're going to go ahead and peel this vein piece off of our collards. I got them all wrenched off. And we're going to make some collard greens this morning. So we'll be back here in a little bit. Alright, y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to put about a tablespoon of bacon grease in the bottom of our pan here. Now, this I do sometimes. We don't do this all the time. So we're going to heat this up and we're going to fry our onion up a little bit in our pan, okay? Alright, so I want to let everybody know this recipe is on page 11. The only thing different is that I'm going to fry my onion in a little bit of bacon grease instead of using the dry minced onion. I always say you can use dry or fresh. And I'm going to add a beer to this one, but everything else is pretty much exactly the same, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get our onion. I have one large onion that I've chopped up. And we're going to get that in there, and we're going to soften this onion up, okay? So I just want to get all this out of here. I want all of that onion. And the bacon grease is just going to add flavor to our collards. Okay, and again, this is optional. You can just follow the recipe and don't even do this. You can just add the onion to the liquid. It'll eventually soften up as well. So you can skip this whole bacon grease step if you like. Alright. Y'all, so here's the onions. They are softened. Now you're going to take a gallon of water and we're going to put it in here. Okay, so we got our gallon in there. Now I'm just going to use a beer that I had in here, and it doesn't really matter what kind. This is optional. You do not have to add this. This is not in the original recipe in the book. And we're just going to go ahead and put a beer in there. And I have two smoked pork hocks. Now, I also use, a lot of times, I like the turkey wings, the smoked turkey wings. And I normally put like 3 or 4 of those in there, but I'm going to put 2 of these in here. So, put those in there. Okay, so we want to add our seasonings in here. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon powder. We're going to do a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, we're going to do a half a teaspoon of pepper, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, we are going to do 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Let me get my onion powder. Alright, now 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And then we are going to use 2 teaspoons of, I'm using seasonal. Okay. So just 2 teaspoons of that. Now we're going to go ahead and stir this around. Also, we're going to add 3 teaspoons of either fresh minced garlic, or you can use the dry. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to put a lid on this, and we are going to cook this for 1 hour just to get the ham hocks kind of softened so they start breaking apart. And then we're going to add a few more ingredients. So we'll be back here in a little bit. Y'all, after your hour has been up, you want to go ahead and remove the lid. You're going to take 1 stick of butter and we're going to put that in there. Okay. Then you're going to take 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. Right? Any kind of hot sauce you like, prefer. Just go ahead and dump that in there. Okay. And then go ahead and let that butter melt. Give that about 2 minutes for that butter to get all in there with your broth. Alright, now if you do not want to use hot sauce, Grandma said just add 1 tablespoon. of apple cider vinegar, and that'll work just fine. So I normally buy 2 or 3 large bags of either collard greens or mustard greens or whatever, and I make them all pretty much the same. They're good either way. The broth is the best. That's like liquid gold right there. So what you want to do is I got 2 really big bowls of collards. Now it looks like it's a lot of collard greens, but it's really not going to be. Once it hits the water and they cook, they shrink down. So just when you think that you've had enough, most of the time it's really not a lot. So we're going to get ready and put our collards in. So what you want to do with your collards, there's this vein piece and you just want to rip down it, and this is what you're going to go ahead and put in. But you want to make sure you rinse your collards really good. These ones came out of the garden, so you just want to make sure that you get this up, because it's really tough and it doesn't cook down very well. So you really don't want that big stem in there, but you want to do that with all your collards, okay? It's one big bowl, and I have 2 of these, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get all this in my pot. This is one bowl that I put in, and I'm going to get ready to get my other bowl in here, but I'm just going to go ahead and push these down, and you'll see that once they start wilting up, there's not much to it. Okay, so let me get my other bowl in here. So I'm going to get my last bowl in our pot, and we're going to go ahead and at least cook this for another hour on a medium simmer. You want to make sure your greens are tender. So you want to go ahead and you want to keep the lid on so you can keep your liquid in there. Okay, so we'll be back here in another hour. Alright y'all, so it's been an hour, and I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off here. Okay, and this is what we got. Now you'll have to taste them to see if they're done to your likings. If not, just leave them in there for about a half an hour longer. If you want to take the meat off of your ham hocks or whatnot, you go ahead and pull those out that are right there, and you want to go ahead and just shred those up and put them back into your greens. But that's it. They're all done. So again, it's on page 11 of our cookbook. The cookbooks are still available for purchase. I'll put a link above and below in the comments for those of you who want to purchase those. So I hope everybody has a great afternoon. Give these a try. If you have any questions, get in contact with us.